What is up, people? Humans of Earth, thank you for joining us. This is The Drop. I'm Ruben Dominguez. That is Quinn Bishop. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing good.
We got a lot of cool stuff.
We got a lot of great stuff.
I've already peeked in the box today, so I know what's coming.
Anticipated records by noteworthy artists.
Oh, man. There's some good stuff in there today.
Yeah.
Let's get to it, man.
All
Kick
right.
it off.
We're going to kick it off with not some of the obvious things that people would expect us to kick it off with, but we're going to kick it off with a local boy, now Austin guy, Tody Castillo. Houstonians may remember he had two, fantastic releases, 8-10 years ago. Hasn't made a new record in a while. This one is on Strolling Bones, which is an imprint of the New West label.
Oh, cool.
Tody is noteworthy for, having this kind of power pop, Elliott Smith, fantastic timbre to his voice.
Yeah.
Great songwriter. And his first record was for many, many, many years our best-selling Houston release.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're very, very happy that he's back with a new record, and I'm pleased to announce this is going to be our first in-store performance.
Oh, right on.
In over 2 years since the pandemic began.
What is the date?
Why, it is Record Store Day.
Fantastic.
April 23rd.
That's amazing.
And this isn't just going to be
that makes me
typical, pop in, play 3 songs, grip and turn, and get out the door. We're going to have an in-store concert with Tody. He's going to play the full album as well as some favorites, and we're very, very pleased.
Yeah,
to
man,
have him
that's
back
fantastic. I put him in, great voice, and he's one of those guys that his voice reminds you of something, but it's not. It's another artist, but it's not in my mind. I can't really place it. It's just it's great standalone voice. I'm not saying that he's like copying somebody. And so going to the notes here, second song on there is called March for Miles.
Uh-huh.
And I kind of categorize that in my brain. There's a category that's like desert driving songs. Like you see those cars in the, you're kind of, there's always that scene in that movie where somebody's like driving a convertible or something and something really cool is playing. That's kind of what it reminds me of. But yeah, great artist, man. Great. And I'm happy to see that album from him.
Yeah, and see you
in store, man. Come on.
Cactus Music on Record Store Day, 3 p.m.
Yes, sir.
Next up, some other big releases. Jack White has a brand new record. And this comes out Friday. Dawn of the Fear. He's going to release another record a little later this year.
We're getting 2 this year.
This one is Indie Store exclusive edition. There's also a regular black vinyl edition. We're going to do an event on Friday. We are having
listening party.
Jack listening party, and we have a special surprise. But I'm going to tell you what it is. We have ordered custom donuts that feature the Third Man Jack White blue, that hue of blue. We're having blue donuts.
Very cool.
And coffee from our great friends at Cats.
That is awesome, man.
You can come by, pick up the record, listen to it. We'll also have some unique art prints to give away with it that are only available at certain stores that are hosting events. So
didn't he like several different artists created art for this project?
Correct. And so I don't even know what the prints look like, but I'm guessing they're going to be unique.
That's cool looking, man.
Yeah, it's cool. Great artwork, and really for.
Have you heard it?
Yes, and it's what you want from him.
Yeah.
It's a lot of herky jerky, hard rocking, crazy signal process guitars. Yeah. Holds your attention for the whole.
I heard about a minute of one of the songs.
It's solid.
It's Jack White. Yeah.
And I think the last record was a little bit of a left turn. This is, I think, a return to form, and people are going to really dig it.
Cool.
So
there you are. I'm excited
Friday
for that
morning for coffee and Third Man Blue Donuts.
Right on.
Next up, one of my favorite modern artists who's a super weirdo, Father John Misty. Chloe in the Next 20th Century is his new album. Lyrically, he's a total freak. For people that aren't familiar with him, if you love harmony singing, he was that ghostly CSNY harmony vocal in Fleet Foxes.
I'm going to do you one better. Oh, I'm sorry. I cut you off. What did you first say about him?
The lyrics, he's just a freak.
Yeah. Or what? You said something funny a minute ago, and I was like, that's probably never been in a review of his. Whatever. But yeah, man, I just turned my daughter under Father John Misty because she was like, I like this, So there's a song on there called Goodbye, Mr. Blue. a very serious Harry Nilsson vibe.
Right. Harry Nilsson, Laurel Canyon, early 70s kind of acoustic bass.
Yeah.
Super harmony laden. I mean, just
he even drops a little of the humming is very reminiscent of Everybody's Talking.
Oh, that's super cool. I listened to it, but I hadn't picked up on that. That's great. This, he doesn't do a record till he's ready, and it's always compelling. The thing is, you get this sweet voice, these great harmonies, and some of the weirdest lyrics.
Great lyrics, man.
So we got that. That's going to be a fun one. Next up, Carmen Cabello has a brand new record. This is her third record. Cuban-American singer and, superstar artist, Camila Cabello.
Yep.
And she's dropped several tracks from this one with Ed Sheeran. I have no doubt this is going to be another monster release from her. She's super cool.
Familia.
Right
on, man.
Yeah. And I think that one is going to stay on the chart for another year.
Yeah,
she makes another
she's
record.
done pretty well for herself.
Yeah,
all right, so we like Camila.
And another lady, Alessia Cara. She's from Canada, and indie pop artist. This is a cool photo for gazing into this fishbowl.
Fishbowl. Yeah.
What's going on there?
Yeah.
So the music from this was out in September. This is finally on vinyl and CD. So fans can pick that up.
She's worked with a lot of different people.
She
does. She did that 1-800 thing with Logic. I think she did one with Zed as well. So yeah,
and she's one to watch. I mean, I think her records are compelling lyrically. It's
cool voice,
personal kind of out there stuff.
Yep.
So it's she has her fans, and I'm sure they'll be happy to be able to pick that up.
And coming out of the gate strong.
I know. Well, let me ask you.
Yeah.
One thing we're not going to talk about on this call.
Yeah, what's that?
Bruno. Encanto Soundtrack finally on LP. You can pick that up at the store. I'm sure parents have already had enough of that one.
Yeah.
Well, if you need to throw it on the turntable, that is
yeah.
now available. Another slam dunk from Disney. They just keep having these songs from films that just go viral and you can't stop them. This is the latest one. And,
I deeply dislike Disney. But I know that, there are.
They connect with kids.
They have a couple of fans.
They got a couple of fans. They are doing it. And man, I'm pleased to include this next act. Are you hip to Lucius?
I know a little bit. I went. I checked some of the album out. Obviously prior to our little show here.
And I think everybody thinks they're sisters or related.
They're not.
They are not.
Yep.
Super cool indie pop. They have collaborated with a bunch of people, including Roger Waters, Jackson Brown, Jeff Tweedy. Really a ton of artists because they have singular harmonies. Always dress really sharp with coordinating outfits, which is a big plus. We like that. That's a little showbiz for you.
And you get this one on see-through pink vinyl. You know what I like about this this album is it sounds exactly like the cover.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's.
Truth
in marketing.
Those cool little like synth stabs. There's like a little disco element, just a little hint.
Yep.
And but yeah, definitely.
They performed at the store before they went on the road with Roger Waters, and people were blown away. They brought like the whole cool show to Cactus, like the dueling synths and all did up. It was.
Awesome. I should not be surprised whenever you mention some of the Cactus Music in-store alumni.
I'm hoping to keep that.
I think
you're going forward.
Remember
thing in the past? I know.
Do you remember this conversation?
Yes. Next up, this is one of the certainly the biggest debut albums of the year so far. That of a band you've never heard of prior to it coming out. We got some Wet Leg for you. Ruben had sent me a text, said, "What do you think of Wet Leg?" And I had to say,
"What is Wet Leg?"
I don't think I want it.
Oh, that's right. I don't think I want it.
They had a track that went viral. Lyrically, really clever, funny. And he pops up the NME, hard critics of new music. So it's an instant classic debut that justifies the hype. So there you are. I like it. I think it's cool.
And this time, 2 months from now, NME will be trashing this.
Ray Davies of the Kinks called him the enemy.
The enemy, sure, of course.
He was notorious. He was notorious for he ran all the way across London at full speed to punch the reviewer at the
That's
enemies
fantastic.
in the
That
eye.
is fantastic. Who's the guy? Who's the British the journal the reporter in Ted Lasso? He always has the Ian. Oh God, whatever. I don't know. How do I not know that? I just finished watching that. Anyway, that's what I thought in my mind. Once again,
It's a fragment.
Off track.
Yeah,
Track.
We're moving on. We're going to talk some
Please
guitar
continue.
players here. Envy of None. You know, people are looking at this cover or looking at the name of the band. They don't know who this is. You know who this guy is.
Who is it?
It's Alex Lifeson from Rush.
Is it really?
It is the first
Holy
Rush music release. They've had a branded beer come out, a pinball machine, all this other stuff. This is the first new music.
I should know this because I watched an interview on YouTube and they were asking him, you know, is there going to be new Rush material? No. Are you going to work with Getty? Not opposed to it. But he said, I am working with, and I think, I think he just he wasn't. It's not like his main
it's not his
project.
thing, so
he's just
other musicians.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
a member of the band.
He's a member of the band. Yeah, which I thought was really cool. That's a cool. I love the art. The art style on this is really cool.
It's funny because you got the Lucius record and that record that are,
Yeah,
women in costume.
very, very, very stylized.
I think first listen, I think it's cool. It sounds like a band in search of a sound. It's a little bit prog. It's a little bit industrial.
It's a little bit of their record collection.
It's a little bit pop. Yeah, it's finding a sound, but his playing is obviously distinctive.
Get out of here.
These guys are too good of musicians to sit on the side.
I want to hear that.
Too long.
Right. Yeah, I want to hear that.
Yeah, and you owe it to yourself to support that guy. If you've ever been a fan, go grab that record.
Did you see him live? Or you ever see Rush?
Moving picture.
Me too.
Yeah.
I saw Moving Pictures, Exit Stage Left. Right, Exit Stage Left. I think that was the live album.
That was the live album. But they toured for it.
They toured for it, and then I saw Signals.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
More guitar players.
Let's keep it going.
Joe Satriani, epic shredder, kind of invented the shredder. Shredder groove, and this record's called Elephants of Mars, and check out how cool the cover is. It's deconstructed guitars to make up a herd of elephants.
Missed it, but you're right.
Yeah, that's cool. So yeah, it's a cool cover. This is another pandemic record. At some point we're going to stop saying pandemic records, but thing that's noteworthy about this from a technical standpoint, it is said to have they didn't use any amps because they weren't certain about being safe and the same, so they were basically all plugged in and through the board or whatever, listening through headphones.
So different way to record for Joe and the guys.
Yeah, but he's always pushing the limits. I feel like he's one of those guys that a lot of the super guitar nerd kind of guys they do their thing, but there's not a whole lot of artistry to it.
Yeah,
he's definitely
always
pushes it, and he's an artist. So,
yeah, absolutely.
New record from that guy. I think
I went out and bought Surfing with the Alien. Surfing with the Alien, right?
Yeah.
Surfing.
Yeah.
Was it Surfing with the Alien?
That is an album that sounded like the cover art.
Exactly.
Yep.
Complete with the whooshes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, next up, new album from Orville Peck.
Wait, hang on a second. We got comments.
Hey, comments.
God, they're so small. Dolores, what is up? Hello. Okay, I have to go to the phone for this one. Keep going.
Okay. Next up, Orville Peck. His new album Bronco. His previous record was Pony.
Where are you on Orville? Because I tried
Kinda
a couple
undecided.
of times and I can't. I could not find the front door.
It seems a little calculated for
and
me.
I tried.
For fans that don't know, Orville is a masked country and western
mystery country and western star.
Yeah, mystery country western. Most notably, he is a gay country artist finding his footing in a medium which is hard to find it if you're of that distinction.
Absolutely.
I think there's definitely something happening there. This record is a very lush sounding record. He's kind of a fashion icon, actually.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's getting good reviews.
And do you know how I knew that this album had come out?
I don't know.
I follow Cactus Music on Instagram.
Oh, there you go. Pile on, everybody. Let's do that. Plug. Let's follow us.
That's all us.
Yeah, so I think people are figuring out about this, but it's interesting. He's crossing over to a mainstream fan base, and the last record was super cool. We're gonna see where this one goes. You ready for the next one?
Please, yeah. I'm trying to find viewer comments. So
I'm gonna need help.
Oh, you gotta
need.
All right, ready?
Hoist this thing. Hold on.
Oh, you're not kidding.
I'm not kidding.
Good Lord. What is this made out of? Steel?
It might as well be. This is the long overdue, eagerly anticipated, clamored for vinyl edition of Tool's Fear Innoculum. Obviously,
it's a good looking box.
It's a cool box, 5 LPs in this super deluxe foil covered box. Interesting thing about the packaging, each record only has music on one side, the other side is an etching. So
never heard of such a thing.
Well, there's a lot of records, a lot of content from CDs that won't fit on one LP, but will fit on an LP and a half. So many times you'll find that the side 4 will have artwork or something that's etched into it.
All right.
These guys
did it on vinyl.
Did it on
That's nuts.
5 records are nuts. They're notorious for breaking the bank at the record company with their packaging.
Yeah.
Always innovative. People will remember how cuckoo crazy the CD was.
Yeah.
In that big box with, and every one of them was kind of unique. The artwork was all kind of weird, and the video content was a little bit. They really know how to create a. I can't. That doesn't even fit there. No, that doesn't fit anywhere.
There? No, I don't want to scratch it. We just did the opiate, didn't we? Just do the video, the box Blu-ray. That was last week or week before?
Correct. The video, 1 song Blu-ray, which was remarkably successful for a music Blu-ray.
Well, you don't hear anything from Tool for 10 years, and then they just
bam. And this was kind of a surprise. They did a big announcement. People were freaking out, but finally available.
I love it.
Yeah, people.
I think that's awesome.
They're fans, probably some of the most ardent fans out there.
Fanatical. Please continue.
Lined up for blocks at the.
There we are. Hang on. Whoops. There I go again. There I go again. So sorry. So Dolores Bledsoe, shout out, saying hello to you. Was in there and making comments and doing stuff. So we want to say hi to you. Let's see. What am I looking at? No. Okay. All right. Let these see more. Let these load. All right. Anyway, saying hello to everyone. All right.
We're going to move on to the reissue portion of our program.
Yes, sir.
And we kick it off as we often do with a couple of great jazz records for the Blue Note ongoing Tone Poet series. First up is Sonny Red. Noteworthy record with Wynton Kelly, Sam Jones, Paul Chambers, Roy Brooks.
And Jimmy Cobb.
Roy Brooks went on to be a great free jazz artist. Sonny Red, sax player of great import, one of a Blue Note classic, maybe not one of the more obvious titles, but remastering job on these is fantastic.
These are all great, man.
They're in these super nerdy tip-on laminated sleeves, and
some good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jackie McLean, which just is a big record, Tippin the Scales, essential jazz record, featuring Art Taylor, Jackie McLean, and Sonny Clark. And good to have this one back. I can't remember the last time this one was available on as a new LP, other than a budget import thing, which probably didn't sound so great.
You are definitely you have more expertise in the jazz area and the field than I do.
Well, I see a lot more of it.
Here's my question. And I think the first piece of vinyl that I bought since vinyl became a thing again, right? Mm-hmm. And suddenly you started seeing everything on 180 gram vinyl.
Yeah. That's a great question.
And why is that?
I think it helps from a production standpoint. There's people that say it sounds better, but what I have to say to that is the lathe only cuts so deep on a piece of plastic.
Right.
And you can't possibly hear it deeper than the grooves are.
Yeah.
I think it is about that it is heavy, sits flat on the turntable, and is desirable based on audiophiles because of that. I personally think that it is great because living in Houston, Texas, where when we get vinyl deliveries from even now through the end of the summer when UPS trucks or FedEx trucks are 150 degrees in there. Regular weight vinyl, which is generally about 120 grams, 130 grams. You get
Could easily
on
warp.
that. Easily warp. And,
Interesting.
So that's one good. I mean, you still warp a 180 gram or even 200 gram record.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot more doing. I think it provides. If you live in a really hot place, it provides you peace of mind that you're not going to buy a warped record.
I'll take it.
So
fair enough. Moving along.
There you go. Next up in the reissue department, band that people love, Pavement. And they've had a reissue series that's covered all of their records with these expanded B-sides, demos, live stuff. They're now up to Terra Twilight. And what does it say? Farewell Horizontal, is it? Oh, yeah, Farewell Horizontal, remastered and expanded of their final studio record. This is the It for the series in a big box. This is available in multiple formats, single disc, a double CD that has all the content, as well as a big box. And then also the Spit on the Stranger EP, which is a companion piece to it. Never before released demos and live stuff from Brixton. I do remember this being, I remember this being like a CD single back in the day. So opportunity to put that on vinyl and the EP. Might be the first time that's been out.
Were you a fan?
Sure. I respect what they do. It never really resonated with me.
Didn't get it.
The guitar thing was a little too angular for me, and I like some angular guitar. Like I love Adrian Belew, and
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
and to me, it just was a little. I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan of the voice. I actually probably like them more now than I did back then.
I want to say it is when I got a CD player.
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost 100% sure that it's the first CD
Oh wow!
that I bought.
Which
and I
which one?
That's Slanted and
Slanted and
Enchanted.
Enchanted. That's a big one. Yeah.
And I was like, am I listening to it wrong?
You're like, they need to tune up.
Yeah. And it was like, and then as I heard more of it, and I had and still have friends that worship this band. And I always felt like, especially for the guitar parts, I always felt like they were trying so hard not to be normal.
Yeah, it seems forced. It seems a little too premeditated, if that's
I don't know,
appropriate.
but
Yeah.
but like huge,
I mean, I saw
huge
live,
fan base.
Cool live band. As we speak, we have Cactus Employees. They have tickets for reunion shows.
And Steve's still touring with Steven.
I like his records.
Malcolm's
Actually,
still touring.
This is a very unpopular notion. I like his records more than I actually like the Pavement records.
I've heard some of his solo stuff, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
you know, and because he did after Pavement was the Jicks, and then he had solo stuff.
Yeah.
And I think now there's another band happening, but
Yeah.
you know, huge body of work.
Yes. Yeah, no doubt. He keeps right on rolling.
Amen.
Next up in the reissue program, I love this band. I don't know if you're a fan of this band. This is Can. They're a German band, actually several different European. Holger Suke, Erwin Schmidt, key musicians coming from these bands, and these records are very tribal, improvisational, groovy, space funk.
I couldn't, if you played it, I couldn't tell you it was Can. I mean, I know who they are and I know how influential they are because, you know, I've read endless reviews of bands that I love that they talk about hearing these guys for the first time.
And these are two of their biggest records.
And what year? What are we talking
early
here?
70s.
It's early 70s, right?
This is 71.
Yeah.
And I believe that's 72 maybe.
Wow, yeah.
But they kind of quietly shook up the world, the rock world, and you know, taught a lot of rockers how to incorporate a bunch of other ethnic music and just strangitude into what they were doing. Never huge, always found an audience with each generation that the records are kind of undeniably, whether you like them or not, there's something going on there. It's
They did the soundtrack for some big movie, a 70s movie, I remember. Because I remember at the end of the credits, their name was there. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, and two, again, we often use this word cinematic to describe people's music. I have no doubt that their music was if not written for, appropriated for films.
It was a sci-fi. It was something 70s sci-fi. I can't remember what it was.
It makes perfect sense.
It makes perfect sense.
Now a more modern reissue. It is. Seems like we often talk about anniversary records on here. The 10th anniversary of Foster the People's Torches album.
Wow.
And that was that was a big record.
It was a really big record.
Pumped Up Kicks.
Yep.
That's the jam, still being played somewhere right now.
Absolutely.
Licensed to sell a whole bunch of
I
different
never
stuff.
knew that this was what the album art looked like.
I think maybe it was that's the album art, but maybe the color of the cover was a little different. Maybe orange or something. I'm thinking orange. But anyway, I mean, boy, that song was you couldn't get away from that thing. It was like the biggest track. There's those tracks that every year kind of change the way other music sounds, and I think that was one of those records.
And you get Pumped Up Kicks, but on side A, and then on side D you get Pumped Up Kicks again, Gus Dapperton version.
Oh, you don't want the remix, man.
There's some remixes on here, man. All
right. So and they never really able to fight. It's so hard to have a monster hit. You can never quite follow that up.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's is a statement on their later work. It's just hard to follow.
And style, vibe wise, I would put like Fun in that category.
Absolutely.
That song was like, and then unless you were a fan of the band, you didn't hear anything else that was as big as
a lot of talent in that band, obviously.
Yeah.
It kept on going.
So Jack
Antonoff. Yeah.
Won his first producer Grammy, right?
Oh,
the
that's
Grammys
cool.
this past.
That guy's on more records than
we haven't talked about the Grammys.
We have.
Were we here since was the Grammys this past weekend?
I gotta confess something.
What?
I never watch award shows.
I only watch red carpets because it makes my wife happy. So we sit there and watch the red carpet.
So
I go upstairs and she yells at me at who wins.
That's an interesting system.
Yeah.
You guys could maybe get the old school like
string
with a
cup
can.
and the string. Yeah.
From upstairs
Spend
to
most of the time
downstairs.
saying, "What? Over?"
This is one of my favorites reissues. This is a great album which never really found an audience upon release. It's a record by an artist called Colin Blunstone. This is his debut solo record. 1 year. He is very well known for being the lead singer of the Zombies.
Oh, okay.
Time of the Season.
Right.
No.
Okay.
Very unique voice. In fact, you can hear his voice on a bunch of other hits. He sang on several of the Alan Parsons hit records. This record is a very Baroque pop record, chamber pop, a lot of orchestrated.
50th anniversary.
And all of the Zombies participate in this record. And it's terrific. It really is. If you like your orchestrated pop with a great singer,
there you go.
This is record expanded to a 2 LP set with a bunch of demos and unreleased stuff. If you like the Zombies at all, like I do, and I'll say this about them, that is one of the most sophisticated, all the 60s artists.
Yeah.
Music is probably the most sophisticated. And you hardly ever, if you go out and you see a 60s cover band, you almost never hear them do a zombie song because no one can play that middle eight.
Right.
It's so complicated. I mean, all the solos are like crazy. Everybody just like, not going to do that.
Yeah, we'll just skip that.
Great artist. So I goofed here and didn't round up our next, but we're just going to talk about it.
Yeah.
So art, punk, electronic pioneer duo Suicide. They have a collection that was just reissued called Surrender, and it's I believe a 2 LP set with all their best known tracks on there. And they are a band that definitely way more influential than they were actually selling records. To the point that it's even Bruce Springsteen counts them as a huge.
And what's band members were who?
Alan Vega.
And Howard Devoto? No, he was Magazine.
He's Magazine. Yeah, man, look at you.
Yeah.
Can't remember the name of the. Somebody's gonna practice on that.
Yeah.
But very cool band. It's worth it. Might not resonate with you, but you should check them out online. It's good to have their music available again. They have one classic album there, but it kind of gravitates to this collection. Is good because it kind of makes sense of all the other work from them. So seek that out and check it out.
Early 80s, right?
Late 70s, early 80s, yeah. Next up, we have, and we talk about these from time to time, the RSD Essential series, not Record Store Day, but stuff that you still need to hear. This one I think was actually supposed to be out a while ago, but very influential hip hop group, the Jungle Brothers, Straight Out of the Jungle album, and political hip hop. De La Soul and Tribe Called Quest kind of grabbed the glory, but this is still a very, very important band.
That whole
and this was like the like your favorite
Native Tongues. What were they were all those groups were all kind of, that was their genre. Carl, I don't know.
Maybe
I'm screwing it up. My roommate had this album and we played it to death.
Yeah, it was a real music in this era, of hip hop. I will say that's true. The other two bands that I just mentioned really connected with, music fans with it through a wide net of what they liked.
Over a lot of different lines.
And these guys, whether it's and their records have been sampled like crazy all over again. It's funny, they were sampling and then they got sampled, and it just keeps paying it forward. But great record, good to have it back. This is part of and this one is it's on clear vinyl with
Clear with smoke.
Clear with smoke.
Whatever that means.
There's some black and gray pellets mixed in there to create a smoky look to the vinyl. And then it concludes our reissues.
Where's our
dude?
There we go.
So this become a big product over with not just musicians but celebrities and sports figures and everything.
Yep.
People love Funko Pops, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Kids love them. I see them wherever you go. You see them like stuck on people's dashboards,
right.
And certainly on bookshelves if you're watching some. And there's a brand new Eddie Van Halen Funko Pop, which is when they announced that this thing was coming out, we had people like, "Are you guys going to get those?"
It's here.
It's here. And it comes with a little stand because he is jumping midair as
he's
he
doing his
used
very
to do
famous
back in the
kind of
day.
scissor kick.
And
who doesn't want this?
Yeah,
come on, man. That's like
cool
everybody.
little treat.
Yeah.
Have
Raymond Ramirez, if you're watching, come and get it, buddy, right now.
Have your iconic
Cactus music.
mentor of music right there on your desk with you, right?
Sure. The great Eddie Van Halen. All right, man. All right. So once again, if you're just joining us tomorrow, big event here at Cactus. Run it down for folks one more time.
Jack White Records coming out, the brand new one.
Yep.
We have indie store exclusive colored vinyl editions as well as CD and other stuff. But we're going to have Third Man Blue vinyl donuts and coffee from our good buddies at Cats.
And you get to hear the album.
That's
fantastic.
And hang out with some Cactus staff if you choose to. And just to reprise what we were talking earlier, we announced our first in-store here at Cactus Music, and since the pandemic, in-store performance, in-store concert with one of our favorite local artists, Tody Castillo. That's April 23rd, 3 p.m. You're going to want to be here for that.
And what's it cost to see Tody?
Oh, it's free.
Free, people.
Free.
In these tough economic times. You don't hear that word very often. All right, man, that does it for us. Next week, 12:30, right here. It's The Drop. If you're watching, hit the share button. Tell your friends. What did Letterman used to say? Phone the kids, wake the neighbors. What was it?
Yeah.
God, that's why he's Letterman and we're not. We'll see you later. Bye. I guess we could get the long white beards.